live in a time where everything is available in every color, every quality, every tier, for every taste. And so the question must be, are we spoiled? Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim and our topic today is everything and a watch. Let's start with a watch. This is the Varon Chiri blazer on the wrist. Varon Chiri blazer. And I've seen it first on the YouTube channel, Just One More Watch. And the method there is that Jody can keep the watch and then he says something nice, but in this case he couldn't, he just couldn't. He was very critic and he told the audience that is what, lacking ideas there and wrong clasp, and so I was a bit influenced, I must admit. I thought, yeah, boring watch, just stay away from it. But then JG Sheem, the owner of the brand, contacted me and offered me that very watch for a review. And I thought, oh dear, what now? But then I liked the images. I liked the images and the specs, and the guy was very friendly. And after all, Caseback Watches is independent. I can say whatever I want. You don't find sponsored content here. And so I ordered the watch. And then the parcel arrived, I opened the parcel, I saw the watch, and I was still a bit under Jody's influence, and so I thought, no, put it aside for a few days, and then I thought, oh man, give it a chance, damn it. And it was nice weather outside with sun and everything, and so I was wearing that watch, and then I thought, actually, this is a pretty handsome piece. You definitely could wear this a couple of more days. And I did, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it pretty much. And this made me thinking about this abundance ideas, this idea that we have everything. And I'd like to share this before the Lightbox review with you. Imagine 1962, the perfect watch, 1962. I've made a few notes here. Steel case, not chrome plated, steel case, proper steel case, and a water resistance of 50 tough meters. Automatic movement with a power reserve of 42 hours. Date function with a quick set, believe it or not, a quick set for the date. And of course a nice champagne dial, hands loomed with modern tritium. Guys, people have traveled through the country for such a watch. And now imagine today, imagine 2023, the perfect watch for people is, should come with a water resistance of 200 meters. And nowadays, titanium, why not? Titanium is seen as a standard materials. Micro brands use ultra tough plating for their bracelets to keep scratches away. And when you're not satisfied with the butterfly clasp, they offer half a link as an extra service. A movement straight from the rack can offer a power reserve of 58 hours, 62 hours, you name it. Every color known to man you find on a watch dial. Even micro brands handle meteorites as a normal dial material. And almost every classic, every icon in the watch world is brought back in form of a reissue, homage, or you name it, often in perfect quality. And this all for prices between 400 euros and 40,000. So there's everything for everybody. So we have reached the top. We can choose from everything every time. We are spoiled, I think. But then Timmy Timepiece comes with a 400 plus euro watch and thinks, oh, look at that. This is a great piece. I can wear it for an entire week. I feel some love for it. And despite that, I can grab everything else. This gives me now joy. And this sets me in a very positive and confident mood. It's a bit like a newspaper or a magazine. You can make it every month because life goes on. Human creativity holds the thing fresh. And so I'm 100% confident that the watch game will go on, driven by human creativity. And when you say, no, this cannot be, we will reach the end of everything, then let me tell you the story from the patent office. In the early 40s, somebody filed an argument against patent offices. He wanted to close down the patent office in the United States in the early 40s. And the argument was, everything important is invented. We don't need that thing anymore. Let's just shut it down. Everything we need, we have in place right now. And of course, this was complete nonsense. And that again powers my confidence that we have seen nothing yet. It will go on. It will stay very interesting. But now let's go to the watch. Now let's go into the light box. But first, let me explain you a little detail I've forgotten to mention in the Lightbox. This Blazer watch comes in 2 editions, Korean edition and standard edition. And the only difference is this Korean traditional pattern that you see applied to the outer chapter ring as a minute track. Alright, and now let's go into the Lightbox, let's check out that watch. We have a case diameter here of 38.5 millimeters, a length lug to lug of 45 millimeters, and the thickness is 9.7, smidgen under 10, so very comfortable. And the watch is now equipped with a sapphire crystal, a screw down crown, and therefore the water resistance is indicated with 100 meters. Inside is the Miyota 9039 automatic movement. Can you hear it? No, this is a bit exaggerated. Nobody can hear this from such a distance, I think. Then we have a metal bracelet. Metal bracelet with this Rolex type clasp here. We have a brushed sides here. We have a partly brushed bracelet. Here you have high polished middle section, a high polished bezel, very nice. This is a non-lume watch, so it's a bit on the dressier side. This is the blue dial, sunburst effect, and there you see all these high polished indices and high polished dolphin hands. So more an elegant combo here now. Alright, let's begin with the dial. We have some subtle indications, the brand name, then we have automatic, we have Korea made, and that's it. If Blazer now is the perfect name to put it in red on the dial is a bit arguable. I've learned that Blazer is basically a formal sport jacket, although in some countries, in Germany, some people refer to every formal jacket with Blazer, which is not correct. But of course, it's a bit matter of taste. At first glance, this watch dial looks pretty, let's say, basic. But you see their chapter rings with different heights, for example. You see immaculate finishing. The quality here of the indices and the hands is flawless. And the sunburst effect is pretty lively. We have an AR coating, anti-reflective coating on the sapphire crystal. So we can play around with this a bit. And you have some reflections exposed directly to light, but works pretty well. And delivers again this lively aspect that you can expose the watch to different lights. Here, for example, you see it in the garden, sunlight, some clouds. Looks overall pretty good in my eyes. And I must say, I love this combination of the silverish metal color, especially high polished, and this dark blue. Well chosen blue, by the way. You can have a pretty tacky blue, but this is just nicely done. Also with a red accent of the Blazer writing there. So overall, good looking watch. And the functionality is there. Screw down crown as mentioned. Provides hand winding, hacking seconds. You have one position here. And there you can set the hands. And this feels in order. Let's close it again. Works also very fine. And so no problem with that. And so overall, I think this is a pretty decent watch, I must say. And it gives me some moments of enjoyment when I've seen it, and so all good. It's pretty versatile. You can of course combine it with straps. Here's the Caseback number 2 straps, very nice side if you ask me, very nice contrast blue and this cognac tone, or you can choose Caseback number 1, it's a dark brown, with also very elegant now, really different look, or you wear it on this bracelet, which I like, I must say. I like this bracelet. The tapering and the form, although I've noticed it's a bit Seiko-esque. It's a bit rattly. It's a bit lightweight rattly. Feels not super high quality like a Damasco or Stipe. So I think this is a bit of a cheaper bracelet, but of course it does the job, and so not really a problem. And pretty cool is of course that you can change the bracelet with ease, because there are these quick adjustment spring bars. You just squeeze them together and then you can remove the bracelet, and this is of course very handy. So some people had problems with the clasp, with this Rolex type clasp, because it's a sportier thing, and this is technically of course correct. You have this quick set for the length there. You can just focus, you can just move it like this. My problem with this clasp is not really the genre. I think it looks pretty elegant, to be honest. If you see the center here, the high polished center, this nice transition into the bracelet, again, nice transition into the watch head with the bezel. Here these transitions also work, the entire thing work. And when you show such a clasp to a non-watch person, he or she would definitely see this as an elegant clasp. No, my problem is that I always find these clasps a bit too long. When you put it on, then this clasp will cover almost the entire backside of your wrist. And this I find a bit disturbing. There you go. 17 centimeter wrist, 38.5 millimeter watch head, slender. And if you ask me, good looking bracelet, but it's a very, very long clasp. Although now that I see it through the camera, I think one could get used to that in a couple of days, so it's not really a problem. And the watch overall, here again in the sunlight, in my eyes, is a really proper thing. Absolutely. Okay, welcome back, and now let's speak briefly about price and availability. We have $472 for both editions, and the first batch was sold out, but the next batch is under production and will come end of May. And now before we go to our viewers' images, let me give you some information on my own behalf. We have great new products in the shop. I'd like to mention first the Caseback Cordovan edition, enlarged now. I've bought a really, really beautiful Cordovan hide, and it wasn't completely soaked in pigment, and so there was a bit of variation. The outer areas were a bit darker than the center. And my first idea was to market that as single barrel, like a whiskey brand. But then I thought, oh, come on, it's more important that people know which tone they purchase there. And so I made a collection of 3 parties, and I've named them after liquor, and they are great. You find 5-star reviews in the shop, real reviews, and so I'm very proud that I can offer this. Next thing is that I've made leather mouse pads. High quality handmade beeswax polished mouse pads available all over the globe, very low shipping rates, also great product reviews, real reviews. And the last thing I'd like to mention is a fine watch roll made in Germany from a small company. And if you compare that with cheap Chinese trash, then you really see and you feel and you smell the difference. Nice traveling watch roll for 3 pieces. And important to know is that the shop, CasebackWatches.com, keeps this channel independent from the industry. And so I would really appreciate when you can give it a chance, when you check out what we have there, because there you really get something for your money. Alright, and now let's start with viewers' images submitted to caseback.watches@icloud.com. And the first one comes from Richard from the UK. And he writes, just added a new watch to the collection, a 2006 Omega Seamaster, reference 253180. It's in stunning condition for a 17-year-old watch. I'm really pleased with it. I went with the older model as it's slightly smaller and slimmer than the last one, which is perfect for my 17 centimeter wrist. I have your exact wrist size, 17 centimeter. And interestingly, my brother's wife wears that watch as her standard timepiece, and she told me she likes big watches as a fashion accessory, and it's pretty beaten up because she wears it with jewelry together, and so scratched and bumps and bruises really. Women and watches can be a very, very tough relationship there. Can you tell you this from experience? So thank you very much, Richard, for that image here. And the next one comes from Gilles, and he only writes, my bike watch, tough as nails. And there you have that yellow G-Shock. And to tell you the truth, I would never wear such a piece. Never, never, ever. But I find it really respectable and interesting that this, amongst watch collectors, really is seen as a proper standard. Proper icon, proper watch for riding your bike there. And so Gilles, thank you very much for submitting that image. And dear viewer, if you want to participate here, use CasebackWatches@icloud.com. Okay, that's all I wanted to share with you this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you next Friday.